Okay, so we've gone over the basic 50 sound table, and we've gone over the voice consonants such as P, B, H, D. So now we are ready to go over the sort of combinations. Now, in Japanese, there are not real combinations, as I mentioned before. Vowels don't really combine together, and consonants can't normally occur next to each other. But this is the closest thing there is, so we're going to go over it. For example, when you have the sound, which we already learned about, we have the sound ka, and we have the sound ki, and we have the sound ku, and we have the sound ke, and we have the sound ko. Well, some of these combinations are often combined with the Y sounds. So, for example, ki plus ya. And in this case, the sound should be ki ya. But what happens is it's often said quickly and it becomes something like kya. And this happens with not just ya, but with yo. So you also get kyo. Now note that this is still from, the ki sound here, right? So ki plus yo equals kyo. And the same thing can occur with the U sound. We can get Q. And again, it's really ki U, but it just gets shortened to Q. And it's the reason I mention it here is that it's written very slightly differently, in particular these U parts, even though what seems to be shortened out is the I, but the U parts are written smaller when they're written in Japanese. So it is something to know about and to know that they can sort of be combined. Another thing to mention is that when you speak Japanese, the syllables are basically all the same length in timing, and that in this case they may shorten so that the ki and the ya becomes kya, and it only takes one beat, so to speak. It's another reason why it's worth mentioning. Now, if you'll notice, there's no like ko ya or ko yu or ko ye, whatever. It's all from the ki sound. So, for the next thing that we should know is that I think everybody already knows that the K sounds turned into the G sounds. So you might guess that if we were to put a gi plus a ya, that we would get a G, Y, A sound. And the same thing with the U, we get G, Y, U sound. And with the YO, we get G, Y, O sound. So we got gya, we got gyu, and we got gyo. These sounds don't really appear too often in English, but they do appear often in Japanese, so it is important to know them. So for example, the Q sound, just to give an example, actually sounds like the Q in, cube or similar words, or Q that's spelled with the letter Q in English. The kyo sound may sound like something like a kiosk or something like that. But again, it's more important to learn the sounds here than it is to worry about the examples all the time, especially because with these words there are not many examples. So gya, gyu, gyo, and kya, kyu, kyo. One other slight side note that I'll mention is that another combination that you may see often is, ki plus an E sound. Gets you something like a kie sound or kind of like a K sound, even though the K sound already exists, right? And likewise, a GI plus E sound can get you something like a G, Y, E, gie. Now these two are mostly used for foreign words that are transcribed into Japanese, so you don't really need to worry about them yet. Anyway, leave some comments with your examples, questions, or comments. Thank you.